Welcome to the Get Fit with Me, expanding your physical and mental fitness group. This group is for individuals who are looking to expand both their physical and mental fitness while helping and supporting others with similar goals all along the way. In this group, we talk about three main areas: physical fitness, mental fitness, and nutrition. And this week, we are focusing on that mental fitness portion. So, a reminder on how to get the most out of these calls. For those of you who are new, or for those of you who have been around for a while and just have kind of forgot, is above me in this video on Facebook, you're going to see a Zoom link. Click that link and jump right in the Zoom room with us. When you are in the Zoom room, we get to have real conversation. I get to do some one-on-one coaching with you, and you get to break through and ask some questions that you may not have asked while just watching the replay. If you are not able to, I completely understand. So chime in the chat and let me know if you are here live, if you are watching the replay. And also, as I ask questions, participate along. This chat lives on, this video lives on. I will comment back. It's not just today and we're done. So remember, to get the most out of this call, click that little Zoom link above and join us. So we have an intention for today's call, and the intention for today's call, so you get the most out of today's call, is I want you to be thinking about looking at yourself and your life and really acknowledging where you are holding yourself back by not saying yes to yourself or to your health. And I'm going to explain a little bit more what that means, but I want you to start kind of thinking of what are some of the things that you're not saying yes to because of either a choice you're making, an excuse you're making, whatever it may be. Where are you not saying yes, and where is that holding you back from being the person you want to be or moving the needle forward how you need to? So start thinking about that. And some of this you may enjoy, and some of it you may not, because it may cause you to look a little deeper than you may want to today. So with that being the case, hello, Millie. I'm super excited to have you here.
I can't stay very long. I have a 12:30 appointment, but I'm here.
That's okay. Happy Thursday. How are you?
Right.
So my name is Morgan Ekovich. I've created this group to help empower and support you in creating healthy habits that will stick, that allow you to eat and do the things that you love for the rest of your life. And we're going to do some introductions. We have Millie here. So can you let us know who you are, where you're from, and what your favorite hobby or hobbies are?
I'm Millie Hines, and I'm from Hazlet, Michigan. And I think my favorite hobby is golfing these days. I'm getting better and better each time, so I love it.
Nice. How long have you been golfing for?
For a while, but more seriously in like the last year or two.
Nice. I love it. I like golfing too. I like it because you get to be outside. And anything in the summer we can get outside for makes that a little bit better.
Yes.
Well, we're just going to get right into it. So with that being the case, I want to share why I've chosen today's topic. And the number one reason I chose it is because so many of you have said that you say yes to other people and to other things in your life before you say yes to yourself. And although that's all great and dandy because you are helping others and you're there and supporting people, if we're not saying yes to ourselves and we're not saying yes to doing things for our health, we cannot be there for the people. We cannot be there for our family members, our grandkids, our coworkers, our friends, all those people in our life who we say yes to. If we're not putting ourselves first and putting our health first, we're not going to have the energy or the ability or even the willingness to want to do it. We'll end up saying yes, like, yeah, I guess I'll do that. And then you're just going to dread the entire time that you're doing it. So today's training was brought by the conversations there, but also something about me. So I never used to kind of get up in the morning and choose what type of day I was going to have. I used to get up, and if I was in a bad mood, I'd kind of let that just run its course during the day. But over probably the last 6 to 9 months, I've really, in the morning, I get up, and whether I'm in a good mood, a bad mood, whether I feel awesome about my body or I feel awful about my body, I wake up, I get my coffee, and I think, okay, what type of day am I going to have? And what is one thing for myself that I'm going to say yes to today to make sure that I can show up that way? And a big outlet for me is exercise, whether it's a walk, whether it's just getting out in the sun and walking around the yard, or it's actually a real workout. And that is one of the many things that I do, but we're going to kind of get into those as we go through the call. So this training was brought on based on what you guys were saying, but also something that I have implemented in the last 6 to 9 months. So any questions, Millie, before we get started?
No, but I think it's a good topic.
Awesome. Well, we will get started. So like I mentioned, the importance of saying yes. Saying yes is very powerful. And somebody once said, you should treat your yeses like gold and not give them away so freely. And I thought that was really interesting because you're right. If it was gold, we would be hanging on to it and we'd be saving them for ourselves. But instead, we give them away like candy, like free candy at a parade. And we forget to hang on to some of those yeses for ourselves. So the importance of saying yes is so that we can actually do something for ourselves so we can help others. And I find that the reasons that we don't say yes or the reasons that I don't say yes for myself sometimes, or I used to, is I felt selfish for being like, I'm going to go do this instead of going to do something else. Or I felt like I should have been doing something else, or the judgment of others of, oh, she's doing that. All these things that kind of pop up as reasons I chose not to do something for myself. And I can imagine you guys have felt that way as well. So what happens when we don't say yes? We feel burnout. We end up in this constant cycle of really not feeling awesome. We feel tired. We feel like we are not hitting the goals that we want to, either personally, professionally, wherever that may be. We feel like we're running on E all the time, that we're like that phone battery that's at 1%, getting ready to flicker off without us knowing. And by just implementing that one yes during our day, that's going to allow us to re-energize ourselves and bring us back to who we are and who we want to be that day. So we're going to do a little activity, and today's training is going to be shorter. So Millie, you being here for 30 minutes is going to be perfect. We're going to be done in 30. Okay. We're going to do a little activity. And if you have a notebook, pull it out. And if you don't have a notebook, feel free to come back and do this. But I want you to kind of start thinking about, we're going to take a few minutes on some of those things that you don't say yes to. And then I will give some examples, but start making a list of some of those things you don't say yes to in your life, whether it's committing to workouts, talking positive to yourself. Like, what are things you don't say yes to during your day that by just saying yes and doing that one thing one small time would actually make you feel better? So I'm going to set my timer for 2 minutes. And during this 2 minutes, I'm going to list off a bunch of different examples. So kind of just start making, I love the Me notebook, that just start listing off some of the examples and some things that you choose not to say yes to in your day that you wish you would, or you know would make a difference if you did. Some things that I have here are committing to your movement or your workouts, talking positive to yourself, loving yourself right where you are right now. Often we forget to do that. We're always looking for the next best thing or waiting for that next big journey or that step. Saying yes to just taking a time to take a breath. Saying yes to listening to your body and where it's at that day. Maybe you're achy. Maybe you're feeling a little frumpy. Maybe you're not a fan of where your clothes are, but just listening to your body and just being with it rather than trying to change it. Saying yes to fueling your body the way it needs to be fueled. Saying yes to taking personal time at work. I know some of you have trouble taking vacation. Saying yes to taking personal time for yourself during the day, no matter what that may be. Saying yes to traveling to that place you've always wanted to go. Saying yes to catching up with the friends you haven't seen in a while. Saying yes to not doing the laundry and just being in the moment with your kids, your grandkids, your family members, and not trying to multitask, just being present. And saying yes to taking time to be alone. And this list could go on, and I could just keep reading for the next 20 minutes of things that we could say yes to. But Millie, I want to know from you, did anything else end up on your list that I did not list off?
Well, one of the first things that I wrote was, when I watch TV, I often sit on the exercise ball, but sometimes I don't. And last night was one of the first times we were sitting in our own living room watching TV. I said no to that. And I just sat, because then I sat and knit, because I can't necessarily knit when I'm on the ball, but when I'm on the ball, I tend to do more things, like I'm watching TV and I'll just lift some weights, or I'll do those things. But I've said no more times than yes in the last couple of, like whenever. I tend to say yes to myself more than no these days, because I am busy in a lot of things. And one point that brought to mind right away when you started this was, my friend has a business, and she used to be a bra lady with me, and she started this business, and it's a dress for the day you want, not the day you have. So get up and put your workout clothes on, because you're more likely to go work out, or get up and dress nice, because then your day is going to be dictated. If you dress bleh, you're not going to have as good of a day. So I just love that, and today I kind of, got up and I dressed kind of in brighter colors, but my intent was to go for a walk, because that's kind of all I've been having time for lately. But I'm home for a short period of time, and I didn't get on my walk because I'm doing some business today. So I'm getting ready for, a client to come. Yesterday I had, 5 different appointments. So it was a busy day, but it was good. So yeah, say, it's easy to say no, but are you saying yes to the wrong things? That's kind of like your list is, we say yes to the wrong kind of things, maybe.
And not necessarily wrong, because I don't think there's really a right and wrong. Is prioritizing seeing your family better than prioritizing your health? That's right. All how each person wants to interpret it. But it's also remembering that as we are saying yes and we're prioritizing these yeses, to make sure that we fit in there somewhere, us as a person, and not us with everybody else around us.
Yeah.
And I know I mentioned the grandkids, and this is a little sidetracked, but I want to know, how is the grandbaby doing?
Good. She's doing really good.
Good. As I was writing this example, I thought of you. I thought of, oh, Millie's got a new grandbaby, and she's been spending a lot of time and just taking that time to be with her rather than trying to do all the other things with her.
Well, and that was interesting, because that was my first thought, besides just sitting watching TV. When I was there, I did try to make that time to go and walk, because that's about all, I didn't have the workout facility or whatever. I did bring bands, so I was doing some of that on my off time, but it was so hot and I had to time it so there wasn't a need for me to be holding her or helping. But, I did try to make that time and really set the intention early. Like, I'm going to go work out at 8 o'clock or go walking at 8 o'clock because it's cooler.
Mhm.
Um, so I was saying yes to those things when it did work out, that I wasn't with the baby, but we're getting ready to go again next week.
Do you find that when you wake up, I really liked what you said about your friend, dress for the day that you want to have and
Yeah.
not the day that, can you repeat that again? Dress for the day you want.
Yeah, not the day you have or something like that. So, waking up with workout clothes is the intent is I'm going to go work out. Or just waking up and throwing on whatever, you don't have an intent kind of, what are you doing today? It's, I guess, thinking about that, but, I love that thought and that vision. Like, if I dress smart, I'm going to be smarter. Or if but if I
Mhm.
dress, I'm going to probably have not so good of a day. I'm going to feel that way. And these days, trust me, that's how I feel a lot of times in my clothes. But I'm trying not to think about that. I'm trying to focus on, getting through the day and know I'm working towards the goal. So,
And that positive, I'm going to call it the positive reinforcement of you could wake up and say you're going to have a good day, but by putting on an outfit that makes you feel good, that's just the second step of positive encouragement that you need for yourself. And the
yeah,
next thing could be looking in the mirror and saying, wow, I really like how my hair looks. Like, going through those, because often we forget to do those. And even doing that helps us put ourselves first, because we start to feel good. When we don't feel good, we don't want to put ourselves first. We want to just keep going along with the flow and not having to worry about it. But if we're feeling good and we're positively talking to ourselves, whether it's, wow, I look good in this, or wow, I feel really good today, I feel really energized, or wow, this has changed, like really honing in on that. Somebody told me, I forget who I was talking to this about, but every day they look in the mirror and they say, wow, you're awesome. And they like high five themselves in the mirror as the first thing they do as like they're brushing your teeth. And I'm like, I love that. And I think that's a really good way to help reprogram our minds, because of all of the previous programming that it has done over the years to negatively think about and have our mind be. So if we can positively reinforce our mind into saying yes to things, to making us feel good, and all of those, we are going to end up reaching that goal and feeling better sooner.
yeah. I love that. And I remember kind of early on in the beginning of the year, you had us do that exercise. And it wasn't easy because I wasn't feeling so good. And it was really hard. And I didn't do it every day, but I did do it. And you said, speak it out loud. And I think that really makes a difference. And I'm going to try the high fiving.
Good. I love it.
And I just kind of went to her Facebook page and it says, a different story than your message. Dress for the day you want.
Dress for the day.
So, our message. What is the message we're telling ourselves? So, I think that's interesting.
And that's a good point. What is the message we're telling ourselves? Are we telling ourselves that we are important by making the choice to say yes for something for us? Or are we making the choice to say no to ourselves? And what message is that sending? And some of these things that I listed are going to take a small portion of your day. Like, they may take 20 or 30 minutes, but the one of taking time to breathe, that could take all of 1 minute. And often we think of saying yes to ourselves and putting ourselves first has to be this like trip to the spa, or this long workout, or this time that we do something that's longer. But that's not the case. It can be something really, really small that we do that just puts us back to where we need to be.
And I don't know if anybody else has an Apple Watch, but I love that, those little reminders to just breathe. And sometimes you go about your day just so busy that you don't even take that time. And, it also says, oh, the last time you took, or the last time you did it was, May 15th. And I'm like, wow, I need to do that more often. I don't know that I didn't know it tracked it like that, but it just makes me think I should stop and breathe for a minute.
Mhm.
And it takes you through that little exercise and it just always feels so much better. And it's a little thing like that.
It is. I have a Fitbit and mine doesn't let me know, but I have the option to like click on it and it like vibrates. Okay, time to breathe in,
Right,
vibrate,
right.
breathe out. And I'll do that before bed because it
Yeah,
helps just when we have so much going on in our mind, that's a really good way to just bring ourselves back to, okay, it's bedtime. We need to calm ourselves down, get the stuff out of your heads and refocus for the next day.
yeah, right.
So I've got one more question for you, Millie, and it is every morning when you wake up, do you set kind of an intention of how you want your day to go? So yes, there's actionable things like I'm going to move, I'm going to drink water, but do you wake up and say, today I'm gonna have a really productive day, or today I'm gonna have a really good day, or today I'm gonna go out and make sure I get sunshine because it's gonna make me feel this. Do you ever
Mhm.
do any of that?
I do. And I literally kind of lay in bed before my day starts. And I think about that. And besides looking at my calendar and seeing what I have, but I think right now, especially because it's summer, to get outside is always kind of my goal. And I think of that. And honestly, I always use that time to just say a prayer and start the day that it goes, it goes well and I get things accomplished that I want to.
I love that. So, if you don't mind me asking, what did you share this morning to yourself when you did that? What kind of day were you going to have?
Well, like I got up and I got dressed and my day was going to be, and this is kind of sad, but as you know, we are on the road all the time. And um now I've come back from a trip that I haven't even unpacked the big bag yet. And then we went on another trip. So my room is full of like bags I need to unpack and clothes I need to put away. So that's my intention today. And here I'm still downstairs and I have another appointment, but I want to go up and do that before I leave for my 2 o'clock appointment. So that was my biggest intent, that I literally laid in bed and I should have, instead of laid there as long as I did, because it was a little after 8. I should have got up and been doing that stuff because it's right there in our room. But I didn't. And yes, that was kind of how I started my day. Um, and I haven't accomplished it yet, but I feel confident I will today. So,
I love it. And I like that you said confident because whether it's you woke up, then you were going to be confident today. You were going to be confident that you were going to finish the task that you wanted to complete.
yeah, yep.
So we're going to wrap up here. I know our training is just about done and I know you have to jump off. So I want to remind you guys that I am here to help you. So if at any point through this training you want some personalized help and you're like, oh, I'd like to talk this through a little bit more in depthly for 15, 20 minutes, drop the word you in the comments. And by dropping that word you, I'll send you a message and I'll pick up the phone. I'll give you a quick call and we'll kind of talk through this to see how what we talked about today could really fit into your life so that you can start saying yes to yourself and putting yourself and your health first. So Millie, I'd like to know what are your takeaways from today's conversation and what are you working on that just in general, what are you working on that you want to share with everyone?
Well, and I know we're going to talk tomorrow a little bit more about this, but what my takeaway was to give myself permission to say yes to things. Don't feel like I have to say no or I can't do it. Do more things for me, and not feel selfish about it. And one of the things I really want to focus on, whether I'm traveling or not, is recording my food, because I was doing really good with it for 2 weeks. And then I started traveling, things happened that I stopped, and I need to really look at what I'm doing. I feel like I'm at a stalemate, but I know I'm working towards it. I'm working towards the goal. So I think that's it. That's my big thing. And my doorbell just rang, so
Perfect.
I'm gonna
And
go
I'm
answer
just
the door.
awesome. Thank you, Millie, for being here. I'm just gonna set up with some reminders. So go back and watch the end so you get these reminders. So thank you guys for being here. And remember, drop the word you if you want to just pick up the phone and we can have a quick conversation and how we can implement this into your life in a little bit more personalized way. And reminders, next week, there will be no live training. I am traveling again for vacation, so there will be no live training, but look for at noon, there'll be a post coming out just like 2 weeks ago, when there'll be a group fitness class that you are able to do and watch and participate in. And then there will also be 2 recipes attached for you to try. So try those out. Let me know how you like them. But we will be back the following week for our move and learn workshop. So that is where we actually get outside and we move around, or you get on your bike, your treadmill, you're actually moving. We're not just sitting in front of the camera. And for that one, I am not live on Facebook. The recording gets uploaded after. So you will want to make sure you use that Zoom link either in your email that you get or in the Facebook group when I post it. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I will talk to you all in 2 weeks live, but I am available next week for anyone who has any questions. I'll talk to you later.